Will there be a LSA fiscal estimate on this before you pass it out of the House? And if not, I mean, are you concerned about moving this along before they get that estimate?
The goal is obviously to have that, but if we don't have that, we have been very transparent and clear with what the costs are, not just with this, but in the entirety of the budget moving forward up to even 5 years, which is that's really a long projection to make any sort of budget decision based off of, from a standpoint of being very transparent. So the work that we've done in our caucus, and I said this yesterday in committee, this process that we're following and what I shared yesterday is the exact conversation that we have whenever we're making significant investments in anything, whether it's revenue reductions or whether it's any sort of bill that we would pass that appropriates money. This is the process that we use within our caucus.
Why not wait another week to, get that? I mean, what's the rush?
Well, I don't know. I mean, clearly, if we haven't had the ability to put one together, I don't think there's anything stopping anyone from going out and requesting that information. I've been very clear and transparent with what the cost impacts would be. $341 million once fully implemented, roughly 42,000 students. All that information is available. I think that we've done our due diligence and done the work to put those spreadsheets together and those runs.
So you talk a lot about conservative budgeting. This is a big expense, right, annually. You said you can afford it, but what's the rationale behind not having any kind of income limits, right? That makes the expense bigger if you're paying for people who can already afford to send their kids to private school.
The goal is to provide as many people as possible a choice in which to send their education, and I think that would only limit that ability to have that choice.
Schools, we know that public school teachers are not the enemy, and that's precisely why we are so opposed to this plan. We know that Governor Reynolds' scheme will take almost $1 billion out of the public education system over the next 4 years, and we are particularly concerned about the reality that her new plan, unlike last year, does not include any income limits. We think that this is a clear sign that Governor Reynolds' real goal here is to funnel taxpayer dollars away from our public education system into wealthy Iowa families that frankly don't need the subsidy for private school. We have a lot of concerns about this legislation, and we are encouraging people from across the state to reach out to their legislators this weekend to share their concerns ahead of next week's debate on this topic. For more on that, I'll turn it over to my House Democratic counterpart, Jennifer Converse.
Thank you. We're calling on Iowans to make their voices heard this weekend. We know that the debate will happen on Monday. The debate over school vouchers will take place in the Iowa House and the Iowa Senate on Monday. There is time. There is time between now and the debate to let your legislators know what the impact of this legislation will be on your rural districts, on your school districts, on your community, and on our state's budget. Now is the time to make your voices heard. Remind your legislators who they work for and what you want. And so we're asking Iowans to come together and make their voices heard loud and clear. This is our chance to stop this voucher scheme that a majority of Iowans do not want. A majority of Iowans didn't want this in a Des Moines Register poll last year in March of 22, and that was before we added, the governor added the income limit removal. So before she took away the income limit, it was vastly unpopular. It can only be more so now. So we know that Iowans don't want this. Republicans intend to work for special interests and try to get this done for the governor. Remind your legislators that we don't work for the governor. We work for constituents. So we're asking Iowans to let them know that and remind them that we are not here to do the governor's bidding. We're here to do the work of the people.